I did just want to ask you one thing about certification, which is
Yeah,
the exam's changing, isn't it? So what do you in the PMP? So PMP exam's changing. Is there anything
yeah,
else that's changing in the PMI set of qualifications?
yeah. So PMI has become so big. There are many certifications, and there's a whole checklist of key milestones that people need to know about. So first of all, March 25th coming up is the last day all over the world for people to take the current PMP test, which is based on PMBOK 5 and has no Agile in it. But starting March 26th coming up, everyone in the world's new PMP test will be all about PMBOK 6 and with a lot of Agile built in. That's one good motivator to get it done before the change, for one thing, because no one ever knows exactly what the new test will bring, and it's not even enough to know some Agile. You really have to know more than one kind of Agile. I think Scrum is the biggest kind of Agile that's on the test, but really no one knows because the test isn't out. So March 26th, the PMP test changes. Also, the PMI ACP test changes the same day. Also, in first quarter, the PGMP test will be changing to go with the new PMBOK. And in
Yeah.
second quarter, so PGMP is program manager and PFMP is portfolio manager, which is also changing. That one is changing second quarter. On both
Right.
of those are dates to be announced.
Okay, so they're doing a complete tidy up. I was aware of the PMP changing,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
wasn't aware. There's been very little communication then about the others, or have I just missed it?
No, it's just that most people in the world think PMI and PMP. So, and the PMP is the one that sounds most obviously connected to the PMBOK. But another one that is super connected to the PMBOK is the CAPM,
Mhm.
Certified Associate in Project Management, and that one is changing sometime in second quarter. So I just confirmed this again yesterday with PMI. The PMP is changing exactly March 26th, almost the very end of the quarter, and then the CAPM on a date to be determined is also changing to map to the PMBOK 6. And the CAPM is closer to the PMBOK than the PMP test. The PMP is largely based on the PMBOK, but not exclusively, where the PMP can ask anything in the world, and it
Mm.
also is filled with scenario-based questions and ethics questions, but the CAPM is more just the facts. So the CAPM is even more of an issue that you want to make sure you know the PMBOK. And so the CAPM, though, you get about at least 1 or 2 or 3 more months. So again, if you can do the CAPM before the change, that is recommended, because all of the books that are currently out today are 100% PMBOK 5.
Yes. Yeah. So if you are looking at taking your exams at some point in the next year, there really is an incentive now to consolidate your learning, get on your PM prep course, whatever it is you need to do, and book up your exams before the end of March. It
Yeah,
seems
you
like
really still have, there's still 5 months really until March 25th, which is the last day for the PMP. So I think it's doable and highly recommended. Every book that anyone has heard of, like my book, the Cornelius Fishner Tools, the Andy Crow book, the Rita Mulcahy book, the
mhm.
Head First PMP, all of the books that are out are tried and true based on 4 years really of people taking the PMP exam, and they've been tweaking the books and all the test materials. So it is a gamble to wait until after the test change. But that said, a couple of your readers are asking me about what's out already on PMBOK 6. So I started to put out for a couple of your listeners, Joanna and Mira, I believe their names are. So I started to answer a couple questions on your Facebook page last night. Here are some
Excellent.
things that are already out, like a video from PMI and things like that. So materials are starting to come out, but I don't believe any of the books are anywhere near ready yet. The earliest that I know of is that the Rita Mulcahy book, the people at the conference said that they're shooting for February for the new Rita book, which I think will be edition 9 or 10. That will be PMBOK 6. But
Okay.
even that book will come out before the test changes, and most likely there will be some revisions to any of the books after the test changes to make sure they can tweak it to get it right.
Yes, I think that'd be true. They'll want to see some people go through the exam, won't they? And what what the feedback is from that before.
Yeah.
Well, things evolve all the time, but yeah, it's happens every few years, doesn't it? Materials get updated, but it's
Yeah.
always arranged for that transition period. Do we go? Do we wait?
Yeah, and another key point, many people don't know there are a couple of other materials from PMI that can help toward the test. So as tough as it is to keep up with the changing PMBOK, there's another document that's very important called the Exam Content Outline, or ECO, and that comes out after the PMBOK change, based on the PMBOK change partly, but it doesn't come out at the same time. It's usually a year or two later. So
Right.
people will try to take the test scrambling to learn the new PMBOK 6, but then they'll discover that there'll be more changes when there's a new exam content outline coming out, let's say in 2019 or 20, which is like available right now for the PMBOK 5, saying here's literally what are the areas of emphasis on the test. So any of your listeners who wants to take the PMP, rather than reading the PMBOK 10 times, a good idea is to take a good look at the short document called the ECO, which is available free right now on PMI.org, the exam content outline for the PMP.
Brilliant. Okay, that's been so useful, and someone's commented in the group as well saying the same thing. So thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing your experiences from the conference, because I know Congress is a big event, but we don't all get to go. So it's nice to hear from people who've been and seen it firsthand, and also your experiences of the information you shared about the exam changes, because I think that's going to affect so many people, and it's good to hear from someone who really knows what they're talking about, because you train it every day, your advice on what we should be doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll get Shannon to put some links to your book in the comments so that we can direct people to that. And yeah, no, thank you very much for taking the time to come onto the group and answer questions today. And have a fantastic weekend.
You too, Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.